Welcome to another episode of the 1871 podcast, and we've got something a bit different for you tonight. And I'm delighted to welcome two special guests from the Reading Royals ice hockey team in Reading, Pennsylvania, in the USA. So a very warm welcome to Reading Royals Assistant General Manager Dakota Procyk and Creative Director Jack Kerley. Thank you to both of us. Thank you to both of you for joining us. How are you both?
Doing well.
Doing
Thanks for
well.
having us.
Good.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Great
Hi,
to
guys.
have you on, and you're 5 hours behind us, so earlier in the day for you. So we're into the evening now. And in case the listeners are wondering why we've got representatives from an ice hockey team on a Reading FC podcast, there are a few reasons. So firstly, Dakota and Jack are representing the Reading Royals, based in Reading in Pennsylvania, which we think is a good enough reason to have them on as guests. Secondly, we're really interested to find out what another sports club is doing to engage with its fans and its community, especially as it's Reading, albeit in another country. And perhaps, who knows, Reading FC could even learn something from the way a sports club in the USA is doing things over there. So the third reason we've got Dakota and Jack on as guests is to bring you something a little bit different, because we like to do things different, don't we, Johnny?
Absolutely.
And also, just to mention, you have a lion as a mascot. So ours is called Kingsley, yours is called Slapshot. And just to say, I actually visited Reading in Pennsylvania many years ago. So I was driving down from New Hampshire to Florida. I stopped in Reading on the way and I took a photo of me standing next to the Reading sign, or someone else took the photo. Back in the days, long before smartphones, that was. So anyway, showing my age again. But anyway, what I would say is, if you've never been to an ice hockey game and you get a chance, it's well worth a watch. So I was out in USA and Canada last year. I saw two NHL games. So firstly, I saw Toronto Maple Leafs beat Buffalo Sabres 5-2.
Nice.
And then I was at Madison Square Garden to watch New York Rangers, and they lost 4-3 against Edmonton Oilers, having been 3-0 up. So plenty of goals in those games. So if you haven't seen ice hockey, I would recommend it. Now, by way of an introduction to Reading Royals, Reading Royals are an ice hockey team in Reading in Pennsylvania in the USA, and they currently play in the ECHL League, which I believe stands for East Coast Hockey League. Now, I don't know if I've got this right, but I believe the ECHL is kind of one tier below the AHL, which is the American Hockey League, and that's a tier below the NHL. And Reading Royals are currently third in the ECHL standings. So my first question is for you, Dakota. Have I got the summary right? Did I do that correctly?
No, that was dead on. Well done.
Okay, perfect. Well, lucky that I did that. So
lucky guess, right?
It's the East Coast Hockey League. Obviously, USA is such a huge place. So you've got a kind of regional aspect there, apart from the NHL, of course. And Dakota, tell us a bit more about the level that Reading Royals play at and how that kind of compares to the AHL and the NHL.
Yeah, I mean, with hockey, it's pretty similar. I think 10 years ago, the ECHL was kind of I'd say a glorified men's league. If people know what that is, it's basically your buddies on the weekend getting together, playing ice hockey. But now I think we have 6 or 7 players that are actually signed by the Flyers that are with us right now. And it's good to see the league has come a long way in the last 10, 15 years. So like you said, ECHL, we deal with the AHL, which is the Phantoms, which is in Lehigh Valley, about 30 minutes northwest of here. And then obviously the Flyers, the NHL, we're about an hour away from them. So it's a good hub here in Reading to Allentown to Philadelphia. I feel we have a good thing going. The affiliation's been great. I think the Flyers we jumped on with them. I think it was 2016, and we were with the Washington Capitals before that. But the Flyers have been good to us, and no, things have been great.
And when you mentioned the Flyers, that's the Philadelphia Flyers, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So they're so I believe how it works, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Philadelphia Flyers are kind of your local NHL team. You know, relatively close to Reading, and it's almost like in a way, a feeder club. Does that how it works? So you kind of affiliated with them, and you might take some of their players, and then potentially some of your players might go on and play for them. Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's definitely how it works. I think we've had 3 players in the last 3 years actually make it to the NHL and play at least a game there. So yeah, it definitely goes both ways. A lot of our guys, you know, if there's an injury at Lehigh Valley with the Phantoms, you know, they're going to take a guy or two, and it just all filters down and up, kind of, you know, seamlessly, I'd say.
Yeah. And Jack, come to you now, and I'll let Johnny come in a second. But could you tell us how the Royals part of the Reading Royals name come about? Because we're the Royals because we're in Royal Berkshire, you know, where Windsor Castle is and all that sort. And I know you've been to Windsor, haven't you?
Yeah, I have.
So tell us a bit about how you became the Royals.
So my understanding, in Dakota, if I'm wrong, let me know. But our original affiliate when we first started, 2001 was their first season of play. We were a LA Kings affiliate at the time, and so that kind of influences our color and our branding as well. So they kind of want to keep in that same vein of a King theme. So they went with the Royals. I like it because it's alliterative too. And Dakota, I'm not sure if there's anything else to it aside from the fact that we were a Kings affiliate at the time.
Yeah, no, that's kind of how it started, because we were originally the Columbus Chill, and then we kind of took the franchise over, put it in Reading, and then yeah, you're right, the affiliate was LA Kings, and the Royals kind of just tie right into that.
And tell us a bit about what's your kind of average attendance for home games, Jack?
Dakota, you're the numbers guy. You gotta come in on that one. I think we're around we're averaging 3,400 ish throughout the season,
Yeah.
about a game.
Yep, it's just under 3,500. It's gone up steadily the past couple of years, which is good. But yeah, we're right around that 3,500 mark right now.
Yeah. And Johnny, do you want to come in? Of what do you want
to
ask?
First of all, I'd like to know what you know about us as Reading FC. When have you kind of first heard of our team and what you know?
So I kind of found out about y'all last year when I just went. So this is only my second season with the Royals, and just when I was doing some just some research and team work for it, and I came across randomly, oh, there's another team also called the Reading Royals. That's pretty interesting. And then I saw the lion mascot. I'm like, oh, that's cute. That kind of matches. A lot of stuff matches. I didn't even know that y'all were in even the county that you're in is a similar name, which is pretty fun too. But and then the other day I kind of just randomly fired off a tweet saying hey, at Reading FC, let's be friends or something like that, and a lot of fans caught onto it, and been having a little bit of fun with that on the internet since that happened.
That's brilliant. No, it's good to have the engagement with you guys, and from something like myself, I don't know how does your team run, as in finance wise, and players, how many players do you have on a squad, and all that kind of stuff, for somebody that doesn't know the game like myself very well?
Yeah, I mean, it's a 23-man roster. So we have anywhere between 23, 26 guys. The team pays them. Unfortunately, some other leagues, you get the higher tier, like the NHL team will pay, the East Coast or the AHL guys, but that doesn't happen in our league, unfortunately. So we pay our guys, we pay housing. I think we have 25 guys right now, but again, that changes drastically throughout the week with injuries and people coming up, going down, and stuff like that. So, but it's around that 25 number.
And do you have sponsors?
Oh, sorry, Johnny. Go on.
That's all right. No, do you have sponsorship and backing and from different companies? That's how it ticks over.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, we definitely have a sponsorship team that does that work, but yeah, we have plenty of local sponsors, and I think last count was, I think we have 96 different sponsors, and obviously they're all kind of in different capacities, higher, lower, and different price ranges. But yeah, I think it's just over 90 right now.
Brilliant.
And Dakota and Jack, just wanted to find out a bit more about your roles. Dakota, could you sort of tell us a bit about your role as assistant general manager, specifically for Reading Royals, how that works and what that involves?
Yeah, well, I'm the assistant general manager / director of ticketing. So my focus is more on, driving revenue, driving sales, getting people to the games. That's been my main focus for the last couple of years. And like I said, over the last, I'd probably say 3 before COVID hit, every year has gotten better and better. So the attendance is up. So that's really my main focus. We have the group sales department. Season ticket retention. I'm sure you guys have, season ticket holders or whatever they're called over there. But yeah, that's the focus on my end, driving revenue. Obviously, I have a hand in marketing. I have a hand, helping Jack, game days, like all that stuff. It kind of ties into one.
And as I mentioned, I was at a couple of NHL games last year, and it's fair to say you do things a bit differently over there, with the entertainment and all that stuff. So, Jack, tell us a bit about your role as creative director. What does that involve?
Yeah, so that's really where I come in. Is I kind of, when I started with the Royals, I talked with our GM David and Dakota, and I was like, I really want to go somewhere where I can build a show, make it a really fun environment for people, and thanks to the two of them, they've really kind of let me just run and do whatever I want. And it's all about trying fun new things in the games. We had a snowball fight with a bunch of ice on the field during intermission once. Kind of just really trying to appeal to kids and family and show that's like a fun environment that you can go and have a good time. It's not necessarily just about the hockey, but we are fortunate that we've had quite a good team the entire time I've been here too, and that helps drive the interest in the team as well.
And you mentioned the word family there. I was going to ask you, how important is that for you to be perceived in your community in Reading there as a family-friendly club? How much of a factor is that for you?
Yeah, that's an important thing to us for sure, because we want to be perceived as, we are a hockey team. We are perceived as an athletic club, but we also want to be perceived as just a fun thing that a family can go and do. And so we're not necessarily competing with the Lehigh Phantoms and the Philadelphia Flyers, and there's a baseball team here too. There's also a basketball team, and we're not competing with them as much as we're just competing with mini golf courses and movie theaters and stuff too. We want to kind of be in that same realm of a fun, enjoyable thing you can do, get a night out with the family, have a good time, and be around other people and be immersed in the community.
Johnny, let you come back in now. Go on.
Yeah, I was going to say, how big is the population of Reading? So, like, your fan base you'd be reaching out to.
Dakota, do you know?
I think Reading population's like just over 40, but in the metro, I believe it's somewhere in the 80s, 90s, something like that. Unless I look.
And
it's not the biggest population, but we have a lot of good areas down here. 5-10 minutes away, so it's pretty good.
What to watch a game? How much is it cost? Compare, over here it's £23 watching football in the Championship, which I'm not sure the exchange rate.
Yeah.
But for yourselves,
yeah, you guys are a little bit more expensive. I mean, where we have anything, a ticket from $12 anywhere up to $30 if you want to sit right on the glass. So kind of anywhere in that range, and we have obviously different pricing levels where you're sitting. So,
and what do you make of "We Are the Royals"? I noticed you've had that playing now before a match. Our theme song.
The song, we love it over here. Yeah, we love it. It's a great tune. You guys did a good job. I know Jack's been he's been incorporating it into the game presentation. So it's awesome. We love it.
I think it's more popular over there than it is here.
Yeah.
I wanted to come in and ask you both about, you know, your local community and how you engage with the fans in the local community. You know, how important is it for you, Jack or Dakota, whichever one of you two would like to answer this, but how important is your local community in Reading to the Reading Royals?
I mean, I guess I'll jump in first, Jack. I mean, it's really everything. You know, if you don't have the community support, you don't have the buy-in, people just aren't going to come to games, right? So you got to get out there. We do a ton of stuff, whether it's teddy bear toss, which we collect teddy bears after a goal, and donate it to local charitable organizations. We've done an undie Sunday, which is packaged underwear after a goal throw on the ice. So that always gets a kick out of the community. And then yeah, I mean, we're going, I think in 2 weeks we're going to help the local, it's called Helping Harvest, kind of like a food drive to pack some boxes. And you know, every week or two we're out, we're doing something. And you know, our games are normally tied into some kind of community theme, no matter what that is.
And how important, you know, if you flip it around the other way, how important do you think Reading Royals are to the local community?
All right, Jack, I'll jump in again. I think we're very important. We're playing downtown, so I mean, it kind of just it ties into parking revenue for the city, you know, hotel tax, all that stuff kind of ties in. So the team having 36 games a year, it all kind of comes together. And you know, I don't know if the building would be here if we weren't here. So we all kind of help each other, and you know, it's great. We're definitely important to the community. So is the baseball team down the street. And just like Jack said, you know, we're something to do for a family friendly, come out to a game and have a good time for a night.
Something that's really interesting about our fan base too, that I worked in minor league baseball for 10 years before starting switching to hockey, and I've never seen a fan base for any team that is like ours, that is just so diehard and so genuinely into the team. Because you get a lot of people that, I mean, in baseball, for example, you know, if you're a Red Sox affiliate, you're probably a Red Sox fan first, but then, you know, you'll go watch the minor league team. But a lot of our fans, their favorite team is the Reading Royals. It's not, you know, it's not like a lot of Flyers. I mean, there is a lot of Flyers fans because geographically we're close, but it's not like Flyers fans like, oh, well, I'll go see this. It's like, you know, the Royals are their favorite team more than Philadelphia Flyers, more than the Philadelphia Phillies, who are the Major League Baseball team in Philly as well. So you get a lot of that people that have, you know, been following the team since day one, that are very diehard and are very invested in it. And you know, we're very lucky to have a fan base that's like that cares so deeply about the team.
And Jack, how do you go about engaging with those fans? Because you said that's really important to you. You know, what do you look at? Do you look at different ideas to engage with them, or have you got like a core strategy that underpins everything that you do to engage with your fans?
Well, you know, it's kind of important to keep in mind that just all of these fans are different too. You know, like we do a lot of fun, silly things here that people may not be into, but they're here for the hockey. So, you know, that's always enough for them too. And where a lot of my interest will lie is trying to get that casual fan and show them a good time and have them come out. And, you know, hopefully you can convert that into a diehard fan that wants to come to every game by creating that fun environment.
And how important is it for you as Reading Royals to communicate with the fans? Because and one of the reasons I'm asking that question is that sometimes in the last few years, the Reading FC fans have felt like there's been a little bit of a disconnect with the communication coming out from the club. They just, you know, they care about the club. They want to know what's going on. They don't feel like they're getting much information. So how important is it for you and your fans that you communicate with them, and how do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, part of my job too lies within, I run a lot of the social media, and I make it a point, I reply to pretty much every message. And you know, if there's something I don't know, I'll call Dakota up and be like, hey, what you know, someone asked me this random question, what's the answer to it? I think being accessible is really important, and kind of makes your fans feel valued. It makes them feel like they're being heard. And you know, I think that kind of contributes to that buy-in of them continuing to be a fan when they feel appreciated like that.
And you've touched on this already, but what are some of the sort of main things you do to engage with the Reading community as such?
Yeah, I mean, like Dakota said, we've got a lot of our theme games. You know, we got 36 home games a year, so we try to do a theme that can apply to, you know, different areas of our community. We have an autism acceptance game recently where we dull down the music and we do our flashing lights and, you know, try to create a comfortable environment for everybody. And, you know, we do a pride night to reach out to our LGBTQ community. There's all these different little pockets of our community, and it's really important to us that we touch everybody, you know, to some degree, and make everybody feel welcome. And I think, you know, through our theme nights, through our group sales, there's, you know, that's kind of their approach to that.
Johnny, what else do you want to ask?
Yeah, no, I was going to say the one thing we have got in common. You had Undy Sunday, and we had Pants Day. As Reading fans, a number of years ago, we had a protest against the team. And basically, everyone brought their underpants and threw them on the pitch and waved them in protest because our team was doing so bad. So it's good, you know, there's a common connection. But like for you guys, you know, you say you play 36 home games, 36 away. And so how long time frame is that you're playing a season's last?
So we usually start right in mid-October or so. I think October 15th was our first preseason game this year, and then they go until playoffs this year start April 18th. So, you know, every month kind of vary. Like February, I think we had 5 games or something. In March, or 5 home games. March this year, we've got 8 home games or something like that. So, you know, every month kind of, yeah, you have a busy month and you have a not so busy month sometimes.
And how far is your away? How far do you have to go for the away games? What's the, you know, for your supports? How do you organise that? And do you get much away fans going to those games?
So I think our closest team, Dakota, you might have to help me out on this. I think our closest team might be Adirondack, which is about Adirondack, New York. I think that's 4.5 hour drive, maybe. Wow. The furthest one we have in our division is Newfoundland, which is, I mean, I think they got to take 3 flights and a bus ride to get there.
That's commitment.
Yeah, it's tough.
Do people go? Do you get a good following from your away games?
Yeah, I'd say I haven't been to one of our away games yet, but we have like our booster club will do trips every now and then. I think they do 3 a year or something, so they'll get a bus full of fans, and, you know, they'll go to one of the closer ones that are, you know, maybe a 4 to 6 hour bus ride away.
Oh, Johnny, we thought Middlesbrough away was bad, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly. We take it all back. We'll never complain now.
Dakota, I want to bring you in now. We talked about the relationship between the club and the fans and the community, but do your players get engaged with your fans and your community, and if so, how? And then also the knock-on effect of that, how does that benefit the fans and the club?
Yeah, we got our players involved pretty much any way we can. We have a youth hockey association. We get the players out there on the ice with the kids. Obviously, I'm sure you guys do the same with, you know, hospital visits, helping out at the, like I said, the food bank in a couple of weeks. Players are going to be there, going to school, reading to kids, all that kind of stuff. We try and do as much as we can. And the credit to the players, they're pretty open, and the coaches as well. Just kind of doing whatever we can that works around their schedule. And obviously it's a huge benefit to us. I mean, we go out to a school, we bring a player, you're going to see 5-10 kids the next game that were at that event. And, you know, that player's their friend now, and they're coming to watch them play hockey. And it's awesome. We've done really good in the community the last couple of years with just planning events, getting out and making sure we're doing as much as we possibly can just to get, you know, some attention on us, and obviously it's just good for the community as a whole.
And Jack, coming back to you, you've sort of answered this question already, really, but I wanted to ask you a bit more about how you're competing with, like you said, not only the other sports that are available, but all the entertainment. You mentioned the mini golf. So how do you compete, or do you actually kind of collaborate with any of those other forms of entertainment, those other sports clubs? Yeah, how does that all work for you in your community?
Yeah, well, I did use that word compete earlier, which I feel like is kind of a weird word to use, but I am pretty competitive. I will, I'll obsessively go around to other teams in the area and, really all over the country. And I like to see what other teams are doing and see how they're engaging fans. And, I'll see what I'm doing better. I'll see what if they're doing something cool that maybe I could steal or something. And it's kind of a constantly growing process for me of trying to keep our fans on their toes and trying something new and very deliberate to never let it get stale. Like, the other day at our game, for one of our intermission entertainments, like, what if we did spelling bee? So we just gave our MC a host of words and let him host a spelling bee. We've never done that before, but we just random fun thing that we tried on the fly, and to constantly keep these new games involved and keep people on their toes.
And Dakota, come back to you. What happened with Reading? And we had a lot of success. We had a Reading-based owner of the club, but since he left, Sir John Medeski, we've had overseas owners. We've had owners from Thailand, from Russia, and kind of the team hasn't done as well since then because Sir John Medeski, he was a Reading man. He cared about the local community. He cared about the club. He put everything on a solid foundation. But there has been a feeling with a lot of the Reading fans that you've got the foreign owners coming in and they just want to buy a football club rather than having a passion for Reading. How does the ownership model work there? And do you have local business people involved in the ownership, or how does that all work?
We're actually owned by the city, so it's a convention center authority. They own us, and they kind of run the arena here as well. So there's no real ownership group. It's obviously a board of governors, and they're ultimately making the decisions that's best for not only the Reading Royals but also the Santander Arena as a whole.
And also, what would you say is one of your best tips in terms of whether it's ice hockey or football? What would be one of your best bits of advice, if you like, to Reading Football Club of what a sports club, football club can do to engage with the community and the fans? What's the most important part of that for you?
It's a good question. I think just being open and honest and being transparent as a sports club. I know you said the previous owner set a good foundation, and it's sorry to hear that it hasn't kind of continued with new ownership. And I think that's kind of everything, right? If you don't have good owners, things are going to be bad, unfortunately. And if you're not engaging with your community and you kind of seclude yourself, people aren't going to come to games. You have to be out there. You have to be front and center and present and doing whatever you can to get eyes on you, because people will forget about you. It happens.
Yeah. And Jack, come back to you, and then Johnny, you come back in again after this. But I just want to ask you, does it make your job easier if the team's doing well, if the team's winning, or do you feel like you've got that loyal fan base where they'll still come to the games even if you've had a run of defeats, or how does that affect your job and how you do your job?
Yeah, I think it definitely makes it a lot easier. That's something I thought about. They've been good for both the seasons that I've been here, so pretty lucky in that. But I can imagine that if the team is not playing well, it's pretty difficult to throw up a make noise graphic on the video board if you're losing 4-1 and no one it feels like nobody cares. So to know that there's real stakes at every game and that people are paying attention to what's going on and know what's at stake, I think really helps that level of fan engagement.
Johnny, over to you.
Yeah, just interesting. Would you be open to forming some sort of link with the football club here? Because I think it's a very positive thing. It's Reading Royals. It's the Reading. There's opportunities there to grow, isn't there? We've already had that interaction as fan bases for both sides. What could you see that developing and doing something with it? Because I think there's the world's such a small place now.
Yeah,
and there's only there's only two Royals now. There was one, but there's definitely two now. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. I know Jack, since he started jumping on the social media bandwagon with you guys. I mean, we had your game up on the video board here yesterday, and we're watching it. And you can definitely consider us fans. And yeah, no, absolutely. We talked about already about having a Reading FC night here next year, and trying to push that a little bit. And I think it's great. I love it. I'm all about it.
We're doing an
It's
exchange
just fun
program.
I say it's just fun too. It's just the
Yeah,
fact
it's
that I think the reason I know that the day that I initially tweeted at Reading FC was not a good news day for you, but I think that kind of played into our favor, where it kind of got that tweet a little bit more attention than it probably would have. And I think we've gotten probably 200 or 300 followers. Just every time I look at the new followers thing, it's all like people that are from the UK, and it's kind of funny to see. And the interaction is fun too. If the Royals scored on Friday, in the first minute and a half in the game or something, and we've got Reading FC fans like, I'd like to see that kind of attack from Reading FC on Saturday. It's just fun to engage with. It's just
The problem is we're not that quick. So we've got one or two players who are all right, but none of them are that quick. I mean, it's sometimes a bit difficult to keep up with ice hockey because your eyes are looking at one part of the ice, and then next thing the puck's like somewhere else. So it's a very fast game. But yeah, I think like I said, the two games that I saw last year in the NHL, it was 5-2 and 4-3. So that's fairly typical, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, I mean, that's my best piece of advice there is go watch a hockey game live if you haven't, because it's a much different game when you're there. And it looks insane on TV with the camera moving left, right, real quick. When you're there, everything kind of slows down a little bit, and you can see the plays develop, and you can see things going on that you're not seeing on TV. And it's an awesome experience coming to a hockey game.
Can you watch your games from over here online? Do you have access, or would be able to watch?
Yeah,
We can plug that for you because it'd be great to watch. You might actually see
Yeah,
a
we
Royals team
actually-
win for once.
Yeah. Yeah, we actually partner with Flow Sports, so you can go on there and you can actually purchase like a season ticket or a season pass through them for the full season. Or I believe now you can buy just individual games too as well.
And we also our radio broadcast is streams for free on Mixler. Our director of communications, Eric Jesberger, does a great, really great broadcast if you want just the audio.
And Jack, what can the Reading fans, the Reading FC fans here, do if they want to kind of start following the team? What's the website address, and what can they do to follow the team?
Yeah, we've got all our information. Our website is royalshockey.com. And we're posting about all of our stuff on social media. We're posting highlights, and it's kind of a good place to jump in and see what's going on. We've got different stuff going on. Every game, every home game at this point, and there's a lot of different ways to see what's going on.
Do you have any famous fans? Do you have any?
Yeah, we definitely have a few of them. I mean, right off the top, we have a guy. His name's Wild Bill. He comes out, he screams at the games, especially on like a Wednesday night over here when the crowd's a little bit lighter. You can hear him up and down the arena. I can hear him from my office, honestly, if he's yelling at the team. So, we have a couple others. None jump out to me right now, but we definitely have a few fans that are very well known by everybody. Oh, the Briscoe Disco, Jack, hit him with that.
We've got our there's a local guy around here that will he comes to all the games in a bright orange shirt, and he has his one dance move where he goes like that as fast as he can, and we put him on the video board, and you get the whole stadium doing it. It's really funny.
Sounds great.
And what's the sort of current situation with the games? Who have you got coming up, and what's it looking like for you for the playoffs?
So coming up, the team's away right now. Sorry, Jack. The team's in Newfoundland. They play 3 games this weekend: Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then we come back next weekend. We have Friday, Saturday, Sunday games at home ourselves. We play the Atlanta Gladiators, and then As far as the playoffs go, I mean, we're in a pretty good spot right now, third place in the division. It's pretty much, I don't want to say set in stone because anything can happen, but it looks like we'll probably match up with Maine in the playoffs in round one. They've got a good team. And then, yeah, the winner of Newfoundland and the Lions, I guess, after that. Hopefully we get through round one.
And for both of you, actually, I'd sort of like to hear both of you sort of give your view on this. What's the situation with people in, whether it's Reading in Pennsylvania or wherever in the US in terms of football, or obviously soccer as you call it over there? Are you aware that the game's growing in popularity in the US?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe hockey has grown in the US. I mean, we're not at basketball levels, we're not at football levels, and we're not at baseball levels. But I mean, hockey's definitely the fourth in the running for major sports. But I mean, it does grow every year. Hockey being back on ESPN, that's a big thing over here to kind of help grow the sport and get more eyes on it. But it's not the most popular sport, that's for sure. But it's definitely on the right track.
And what about? I was thinking about the American kind of sports fans in terms of following football or soccer. What how's that going in terms of, are there more people now interested in football, whether it's in the UK or around the world? Is that growing in popularity in the US now, do you think?
I think so. Yeah, we got there's a Major League Soccer team here, but again in Philadelphia, called the Philadelphia Union. They were just in the championship in the past year. They lost, but I know they do pretty well for attendance. I know there's like pockets of it too that some areas do better than others. I'm from New England, from the Boston area, so our team there doesn't draw too well. But if you get out into like the Pacific Northwest, like Portland, Seattle, LA, like those teams are drawing huge crowds. So there's and I know they're adding teams too in the league. I think Charlotte just got a team in the past year, so that's definitely a fast growing. That level is fast growing.
And Johnny, bring you back in now. And anything else you want to ask?
Yeah. What's your ambition for the Reading Royals? What's your long-term goal? Where can you go, and how far do you see you going realistically?
Are you talking in terms of team this year?
Team and club and general, yeah, like as a where you want it to be.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, team wise, we want to win the Kerley Cup. That's kind of our goal there. We've got a pretty good team. I mean, just goal as a whole, I would think it goes back to I think what we were saying all podcasts. Just be in the community, share what we have to offer, get people to our games, and just continue to self-sustain and be efficient. I mean, I'd love to see 5,000-6,000 people in the building every night. I think we're building towards that. It's definitely a long process, but you look 20 years ago when we first opened, I mean, the building was sold out every night with 7,000 people in it. So obviously that's the goal at the end of the day. We want as many fans to come out as possible and like we just talked about, grow the sport, because it's one of the ones that needs help growing for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna finish up now, Johnny. I want to ask both of you, Dakota and Jack, for a score prediction for our next game. We're at home to Millwall. So Millwall are higher up in the table than us. Can we have a score prediction firstly from you, Dakota?
What team are you guys playing?
So Reading are at home to Millwall, and Millwall are having a better season than us.
A better season, huh? You know what? I'm gonna go 2-0 for the home team.
Good man.
Good stuff. Jack, how about you?
I'm going 3-0 Royals. Or we affectionately call our team the Roy Boys sometimes. So 3-0 Roy Boys.
So look,
we used to be positive like this once, Mark, didn't we?
Yeah. We'll be following the the Reading Royals from now on. That's for sure. And hopefully you guys will be following Reading FC Royals as well. So that's it for this episode. Our next episode is our Reading FC quiz, which is available anytime to listen to from 10 a.m. on Sunday. And up next, as we've just said, for Reading FC is the home game against Millwall on Saturday. So all that leaves me to say for now is thank you ever so much to our special guests, Dakota and Jack from Reading Royals. So I've got even more reason this time to finish off by saying, come on, you Royals.